Hey there, what if I told you that in order for you to be able to form the sentences to write a line graph, it just takes 1 day? Yeah, you've heard me right. It just takes 1 day. How? Let's learn. If you belong to the category of the students, let me tell you, who find it tough to form the basic sentences to write line graph or the paragraph, this video may help you. Okay, let's begin. See, the most important thing in writing line graph is that we must know that we have to describe the change, right? And the change takes place in two forms. Either something increases or it decreases. So we must know how to talk about the increase and how to talk about the decrease, or if there is absolutely no change. So that, for that matter, I've drawn here 3 line graphs. The first one signifies the increase, the second one for the decrease, and the third one, there is no change, okay? So basically, we'll work on 2 different sentence structures, right? Which I've written here. So before I, in fact, discuss about the language or the sentence structures, let me make here clear a couple of things. The first one is, for example, let's take an example simultaneous to be able to understand it in more effective way, so to say. In the first line graph, here on the x-axis, we generally have the units, right? So we may have units like 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K. I'm sorry, because of the scarcity of space here, I have to write the units here on the right side, but in your exam, you will have it on the left side, okay? And this y-axis generally denotes the time, right? So here, let's consider it's 2000, 2001, 2, 3, and 4. And let us also assume that this line denotes to consumption of cheese. Consumption of cheese, okay? So the first thing that's very important is that in order to frame these sentences, we do not use the actual verb and the actual subjects. In most of the line graphs, you will not find the verb, okay? So we work on the passive voices there, but here we will have to assume the subject as well as the verb, okay? So as can be seen, the actual verb in this case is consume, but we'll consider increase as the verb, right? And as far as subject is concerned, we'll take consumption of cheese, which is in fact the line. So consumption of cheese will be considered as a subject. It's an assumed subject, right? This is the first thing that you have to keep in mind. And the second one, even more important, is that we have to use the adverbs and adjectives, right? So why do we need to use the adjectives and adverbs? Okay. You can see there may be different kind of changes occurring in the line graph. For example, this is an increase. And if I just draw another line, let me take another marker. If I, for example, draw this line, this is also increase. But there's a lot of difference between this increase and that increase. So how can we talk about this difference? By using adjectives and adverbs. For those students who probably are unfamiliar with the words adjectives and adverbs, I'd say they are the words that give us a bit more information about the noun, right? Let's also understand how do we use the adjectives and adverbs in context to this line graph, okay? So adjectives are the words like drastic, tremendous, significant, negligible, and slight. They're all adjectives, right? So when the change is too much, we use the first 2, that is the drastic and tremendous. So in case of the increase, which is neither too much nor too less, we use the word significant. And in case of the low changes, they are not very much, we use the words like negligible and slight, okay? And there's one more thing that you must understand, that adjectives, if we just suffix ly after the end of each of the adjective, it becomes adverb. So that's what I've done here for you. So drastic becomes drastically, tremendous becomes tremendously, significant becomes significantly, negligible becomes negligibly, and slight becomes slightly, right? Okay, so let's work on the verb form first, okay? So in the verb form, we have to use the adverb. And this is one thing that we have to notice, because in order to write verb form, if you use adjective instead of adverb, that'll be wrong language, okay? All right, so the assumed subject is here, consumption of cheese. So let me tell you one more time, whatever the line denotes, we'll consider that the assumed subject. And for the verb, we always have to type either the increase or decrease or no change, right? So the subject will be the consumption of cheese. Consumption of cheese. So that's our subject. And then we have to put second verb. So the verb is obviously increase. So the second verb is increased. And then we have to use the adverb, and we can see the increase is too much, right? Because in 2001, the consumption was around 12,000 tons, right? And it increased to over 30,000 tons in 3 to 4 years, in 3 years to be more specific. So it has increased more than double. So it is tremendous or drastic, but we have to use the adverb that ends with ly, okay? So we'll say consumption of cheese increased drastically. And the object is always time. There are various ways we can use, we can write time, but to put it in simple way, we can say that from 2001 to 2004. And that's how we use the verb form. See how easy it is. All right, now let us also learn how to write the noun form. And the noun form, we are just talking about these two forms to make sure that we are not repetitive in our writing, okay? So in the noun form, we always start with there was or there were. In this case, we'll use there was. And we know which adjective is to be used here. So we'll say there was a drastic. And change is always either increase or decrease. So there was a drastic increase. In the subject, our assumed subject is consumption of cheese. So there was a drastic increase in the consumption of cheese. And then object. So object is the time from 2001 to 2004, right? One more thing that you must know is that, like, we have different adjectives and adverbs to be able to speak differently. We can always have synonyms of the words like increase and decrease. So in case of increase, we can use the word like go up, or maybe rise, grow, stuff like that. And in case of decrease, we can always use the words like go down, reduce, and fall down, etc. Right? That will give you a bit more variety. If you like this video, if you think that the information given in this video is useful for you, please subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely be posting much more informative videos to help you clear your IELTS test. Thank you so much. Enjoy yourself.